transition.
To fit in.
Yeah, because the teacher then has to figure out where they're at. So they can be tested coming in. But it's going to, ideally, once it's all implemented, is a fifth grader's a fifth grader's a fifth grader. Now, the flip side of that.
I'm sorry. You gotta say something when you're done.
Hang on to that question because I want you to hear it. The flip side of this is, in as much as teachers and administrators and everybody else are going, Common Core is great because it's going to be common everything. Yet they stand in opposition to things like Teach for America, which is actually the teacher side of Common Core, because you take a teacher, you take somebody with involved subject matter knowledge, you put them through a 6-week training course, because really all they need to know is how to make a lesson plan and learn the kids' names, because really all the curriculum is going to be laid out for them, okay? So a fifth grade, a student is a student is a student on this end, and a teacher is a teacher is a teacher over here. So they're all interchangeable.
This is where they miss the boat. This is where you all miss the boat. I know. But here's what they need to do, and I don't know how they miss this. We need to stop getting teachers in the school system. We need to take the teachers out, put up a screen like this one with the curriculum already done and beautiful as it is with potty breaks. Turn it on in the morning, let the kids come in and sit down, have a para to make sure they stay in their seat with their eyes open. Get their heads right there, give them a piece of paper so they can write down what they're told to write down, and at the end of the day they go home. And you do this every day.
You don't know how close to the truth
That's what they
is.
should do. Now, how did they miss that? Okay. Why don't they? Why don't they get rid of teachers? Put up a screen, PowerPoint presentation. Everybody has a personal computer. I am so serious.
No, she's as serious as she can be. She is.
I want to tag on. I want to
So
tag
mad.
on to what you're talking about.
So mad.
There's already the technical aspect in the works right now, okay, in which they're going to be able to take bios from your wrist from a tape on.
Exactly.
They're going to be able to take. They're going to be able to watch the students via camera to find out
Exactly.
how their eyes are moving and whether they're concentrating.
We're all here.
There are going to be ergo chairs that got sensor center to find out if they're being considered. And don't stop going on to somebody else, because I'm not done. They're taking all of these things into consideration to go ahead and set out a process where they can govern and pattern and get to your students the most and keep them focused in on exactly whatever they want to teach. That is the most vile.
I'm sorry. I just need to be really clear on what you're saying here, because are you advocating for that, or are you being
That's what they call
sarcastic?
minimalized.
Sarcasm?
Thank you very much. But that is
sarcasm.
Okay.
That is
Okay, I
dishonest.
might as well.
They might as well. They might as well. Why have a creative teacher in the classroom who can't teach?
I can tell you teachers who are exactly, and I can tell you just a little bit of anecdotal piece from the training that I've done with teachers, and I'm with math, so this is going to be math related. I have teachers that when they study Common Core, when they learn what Common Core is, they say to me, okay, I've been in the classroom for 20 years, and finally, we can get back to teaching creatively, hands-on, letting students talk and think the way I want to teach.
I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Can I go back to, I was trying to ask a question earlier when you started explaining things. I'm wondering, when you say, I kind of lost my train of thought, but when we had to lower our standards, I feel like, being from the rest of Missouri and not Kansas City and St. Louis, that they're expected to have different standards, and that we have to lower ourselves to, I know, but we have to lower to Kansas City and St. Louis inner city standards because they can't get the teacher. I don't know what, but I know that there's a problem between rural Missouri and city Missouri, where they have so many educational problems. I mean, I have friends in Kansas City who moved to Overland Park because they just could not put their children in public school in Missouri, in Kansas, or in Kansas City.
And the same is true in St. Louis City.
Right, and so I'm wondering, why do we in the rest of Missouri have to lower our standard, or the rest of the country have to lower our standards to meet school districts that can't raise their standards.
It's a good question.
Are there current teachers in the at the table?
Current teachers.
I'm a certified
Not
teacher.
current teachers.
But not current teachers?
No.
Does it
Because
matter?
from my experience
Does it matter?
with teachers, yes, and for my question it does. Because my experience with teachers as I've worked with them since the beginning of this school year is that when they look at these math standards in particular, especially about third grade up, they say, I don't know if my kids can do this. I don't know if
Why?
my kids are going to be
Why
ready
can't
for
they do
this.
that?
Thank you.
Why?
Have you
Why?
read the standards?
Why?
Have you read the standards?
Sorry. There's
I
no
have
answer.
kids in
Have
the
you read the
district.
standards?
I have read some
I
of
think-
them.
I think the next
What
question-
I'm worried about is the changeover from teaching basic skills, and they're using these lattice methods and this other method and that method, and when I try to teach my children basic operations of math, multiplication, division, subtraction, those basic things, they say, I can't do it that way because I was taught how to do it with this lattice method or the leaf method or the tree method or whatever method it is. And they're grading them down because they're doing it the old-fashioned way.
I had to demand my child be taught the old-fashioned way. Demand it, year after year.
Memorization, yeah, absolutely. What is wrong with memorization?
Oh my
The
goodness.
application later on is one thing. Your
It
math,
takes
I need
it takes
As a high school math
a
teacher.
tenth of the time to do the same problem.
But can they
It
apply
does.
it to a real world?
Yes, you can.
Oftentimes, as a math teacher of upper level, I can tell you that the retention from year to year just isn't there when students don't understand conceptually like place value.
Then they're not doing it correctly.
not
Because
doing
let me
that.
tell you, when I give my kids $1, they understand what 10 cents is. They understand what place value is. When I take them to a grocery store, I explain to them what the unit cost is and how that unit cost affects the total cost. They understand multiplication. They understand what addition is. They do, but you have to teach it to them. In a practical way. And this crap that they're teaching them right now and what they're going to continue to teach them because that's what it is.
Short and calm question. Short and calm.
Wait a minute, can we get them to answer the question first? What is her
Will you pipe down?
Why, well, I heard the
What
question
is your
is, why when I try to teach basic skills at home, my kids can't get it because they're being taught alternative methods, and we're using math, for example.
They're
Why are basic skills constructions not being taught?
They're not allowed to use them. They have to use the other
I would
methods.
have to say, as a consultant, that is a teaching issue. That is an individual teacher issue. And I agree with you.
How many
that
different
if a
teachers have your
student-
kids had?
Yes.
Well, they've had multiple different teachers.
Multiple individual, but
it's district-wide.
But guess what? You're not going to change it. The state has to put
They're
that.
not.
You can't change it now. Wait till
My-
they get it.
What the standards are asking
I would like to know
districts to determine how do you keep a curriculum.
how
Concept about teaching the concept. That doesn't make sense to me, that you're teaching the understanding of the concept to the teacher without teaching the concept.
Bingo.
We're talking about algorithms here, and algorithms are shortcut procedures that we take because they work, they always work, and they're very efficient. The problem with algorithms is if you don't understand how the algorithm was built, then it's a total memorization process, and we have so much information flowing. Our kids have so much information flowing through their brains on a day-to-day basis, just like us. And memorization can be really tough for a lot of kids, especially with all of that extra information flowing through our brains. But what
Okay, we're going to take
what we
2 more
advocate
minutes to wrap things up.
in Common Core
2 minutes to
is
wrap
that
up the table
we-
discussions.
build that conceptual understanding and let the algorithm, the shortcut, be the capstone to that. So that we discover the algorithm.
one more question.
And then if I don't remember it, I can construct it. Like,
I love to do math. I have 7 children. I have 5 in public school, and I think it is amazing. But they need. I think it only helps them to learn to memorize.
How,
I think
how,
they are required.
I have
requiring
one,
memorization of
one
timetables.
more
I can
question.
say it's outlined in Common Core. I promise
Very
you
quickly.
The fluencies are there. Check them
How
out.
does-
I encourage you to check
how
them out.
does this affect homeschool?
Hold on,
Can't get
right
to
here.
college without.
Sure.
It's Doc's
First,
turn.
as far as not being able to catch it, I don't buy it. In the 1860s, they were teaching calculus.
What's your question? We only have 2 minutes.
You guys are really committed to Common Core, is that correct? I mean, you really?
I am committed to
That wasn't the,
educating the children
that wasn't the
as best we
question.
can.
That wasn't the question. Are you guys
I
committed?
train on Common
Are
Core
you guys committed to
every
Common
week.
Core?
I try it every day.
Then why is President Obama trying to outlaw homeschooling?
I didn't know anything.
I am an advocate of homeschooling. You want to speak to
Okay.
me personally about homeschooling? I think it should always be
Homeschooling,
That's a
homeschooling
choice.
will not do this program. And I have seen homeschoolers before. And these kids are brilliant, absolutely brilliant, bar none. I don't see any of the information being put forth as far as what Common Core is going to do and produce for the kids that are going to come anywhere close to exceeding the capabilities of homeschooling.
I'm sorry, I don't want to cut you, but we've got one more question.
I want to know how this affects homeschool.
How
It
does
shouldn't
this-
affect homeschoolers at all.
No.
If anything,
No, it should
with
help.
That's exactly what
college
they're talking
entrance,
about.
They can't go to
Exactly
college
what they're
without
talking
it.
about.
Can't go to college without Common Core. Cannot pass the test. Colleges
Which
won't let
test?
you
Which
in.
test?
You got to be able to pass Common Core tests, same as public school, to
college
get into
entrance
college.
exams. College entrance
That'll
exams.
change.
And
Watch.
homeschoolers still have to,
Follow the
right now
money.
have to,
Follow the
right
money.
now have
She
to.
asked a good question.
Yes.
My biggest question is she is asking a question that is not a political debate we have for that.
My question is, if Missouri or if teachers are so behind Common Core, why is Missouri trying to put off implementing it, and why are they trying to get out of the agreement that they made? If it says that they have filed,
The legislators.
The people of Missouri.
I've read that
Right
the
here.
legislators are trying to repeal it, and that no answers have been given.
Because you guys have voices. And that's the great thing about this system.
And
Okay,
you
but in several
can you
states,
repeat your question? Have you spoken to your legislators?
no, I'm saying, I read on Missouri's
Okay, we're going to go
website
ahead.
about it, that they're saying that they're trying to get out of having to do it, or at least put
Let's
it
wrap
off
this
until
up
they
and,
can
have our
condemn it,
tables
and
report
that
out.
the federal government has not answered at
Well, they
all
can't.
any
It's a
of their
consortium. Unless
any of
the
their
other members,
issues.
unless the other members agree to let them out, they won't.
Okay, so that's, I'm wondering if it's so great, why is Missouri trying to get out?
Just going to go around the room. I appreciate